This is the 3inMidfield podcast, episode 236 from Textiles to the Carabao Cup final. I am your host, Kojo. I've got two superb guests. I had three, but a fan of a certain club just couldn't make it for whatever reason. Hey, man, I'm not here to give them excuses. As far as I'm concerned, if you're watching on camera, you know what shirt I'm wearing. If you're listening, you know what shirt I'm wearing. But let's get started with the show anyway. Yes, and I'm indeed your host, Kojo, as I said, and I've brought two wonderful people with me. One is a returning guest, and when you've been here more than once, you're actually just an honorary member of the 3inMidfield podcast. So, Brother Rich, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing okay. It's been a difficult season so far for us, but all in all, I'm good, bro.
Yeah, good. You're in good spirits, and we'll delve into that as well, because a couple of things I didn't know about your club this season, I found out this week. So it's going to be an interesting one about Crystal Palace. For everyone that knows, Rich is from the Eagle-Eyed Ball podcast as well. So check them out, subscribe to their stuff. And we have a first-time guest. I've been thinking about getting her for a while, but I wanted her to come on when United are in a good spot. It had to be the right time.
That is shameless.
You know, like some of my best work is done when we've been down bad. I'm not gonna lie.
I hear it. But that time's over.
Finished.
It's time to smile. Rans is in the building. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Fresh off a trophy and that. On to the next. Boys already in office today. Serious business happening at the moment, man. Serious business. We love it.
Serious business indeed. And of course, she's delighted because we'll dive straight into it. Manchester United played Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final. Final score, Manchester United 2, Newcastle 0. It was a very entertaining game, in my opinion. You know, Newcastle trying to bring the energy and physicality to the game. Man United were very tactical. The better side won, in my opinion. But of course, I'm only here to host right now. I can't let my absolute bias come to the table. So we're going to let Rand's absolute bias come to the table instead. Go for it. Let me know how you felt about the game and the approach that Man United took.
First of all, I would like to say it's a tactical masterclass because Eric chucked out the dig on Thursday. Newcastle Friday morning. Newcastle only sit back. They only play football one way. We got an to break. And what did they do? Like idiots, they came out and tried to win the game playing football. If they didn't play football, they probably would have had a better result. But because they got baited into playing football, that made it easy for us. Overall, the game, I actually thought we were really poor, especially the first half. I thought we were really bad. Like even in transition, we weren't good. Dallo really struggled against ASM. Like Dallo was getting his pants pulled down. I was like, oh my God. I thought Fernandes really struggled to get into the game because he was having to do a lot of running because I guess he was playing Weghorst up front. So, and Rashford, they were like switching in the middle. So Fernandes has to do a lot of covering for both of them. And so he couldn't do his pressing the way that he normally does. And I found him kind of behind attacks often, which I wasn't really happy about. But then got the free kick, beautiful ball by Luke Shaw, and Casemiro put it away, which is why you need people who know how to win finals in your team. That is exactly the most important reason why people like Varane and Casemiro are like gold dust to Man United. Like literally, we have people who are serial winners, people who win all the time, and they know how to keep calm under pressure. And that's what that goal did for us. Literally, I think we scored 5 minutes later for the second goal. That was it. Game done. Newcastle weren't going to score, and they knew they weren't going to score. And I think they kind of stopped trying after that. So overall, I didn't think it was the best spectacle, especially on our side. We didn't put together a good performance. Rashford wasn't great. Neither was Sancho. Or they weren't really great. I think the person who really had a good game actually is somebody, I think Anthony was quite good, but then he started doing too much. But generally, he had a quite a good game. Casemiro had an okay game for his standards. But generally, who cares as long as you win? That's what I think. I don't care how it comes in a final as long as I win the final and no one can take it away from me. So, yeah, I was happy. I'm happy.
I mean, that's what it's about, though, isn't it? With finals, you can go back to many finals in the past where one team's play better than the other, but they don't really talk about who played better than who in the future. It's about who won the accolade. You know, you can go back to maybe the time where
2016.
2016. Which final?
As you would say that.
Oh, Palace.
When we outplayed you at Wembley. And you had Mark Clattenburg
are you
said...
about outplaying 10 men? Is that what you're doing on
Mark
the podcast?
Clattenburg said,
You're showing off about outplaying 10 men.
Here's the trophy. Here you go. That referee.
I found that one funny. I mean, just because when Pardew started dancing, it kind of triggered me a little bit. I was like, hold on, no.
Please don't.
That
triggered me. What are you doing?
Early. Wasn't it like the 16th minute or something you scored? It was proper early. It was like way too early to be happy.
We scored in the 78th or 80th minute. It was a late goal we scored.
Because it went to extra time. Yeah, it went to extra time. That's why. Yeah, so it was a lot longer than we anticipated it would be anyway.
Yeah,
because it went the whole 120 minutes before. I think it was Mata and Lingard that scored the goals for Man United.
But it was Rooney. Rooney drove from the halfway line, innit?
Yes.
And he made that impossible run and found the ball into the box, and then I think it ricocheted and ended up in Mata's path, and he scored.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I think the officiating also, I found it very weird. How did we end up with 6? Like, how about 6 yellow cards? 5 yellow cards in this game?
I mean,
I didn't think it was good.
I mean, we'll get into refereeing soon. Trust me, that never stops. Believe me, that never stops. But before we go to Rich, Rans, just on the final performance and certain players that actually came to the table for United. I mean, Newcastle, with all the energy they provided, did you at any time feel like we were really under a lot of stressful pressure in terms of, like, you think they were creating chances that would make you feel nervous that they could possibly get a goal? Because in my opinion, players like Saint-Maximin, I call him Newcastle's Adama Traore. He's one of those players that will just beat everybody, and they get to the box and nothing happens. Nothing happens.
It's funny, as a Man United fan, I can't remember the last time we've gone to play a team, in under all the managers that we've had. When we had Mourinho, since Sir Alex, I walked into a game where we're soaking up pressure and I don't feel worried. But that's where Eric has me right now. Like, I don't feel worried. I'm like, listen, it's going to take something special to beat both our defenders in terms of Varane and Martinez. And also, contract negotiation, Dave is on the table. He's there trying to get his 400k a week for the next 2 years. Final lap, all of that. So he's been a serious person for once again. And he always does this around contract negotiation time. But I didn't feel any pressure. I just thought, like, I just get frustrated because I don't like to see us on the back foot, especially when I know who we've got. But then with the retrospect of knowing that we've played 10 games in February and we've been playing 2 times a week for the last however long, to be fair, it's like we're trying to win the game but conserve as much energy as possible. So I didn't feel worried. I was worried about Saint-Maximin potentially getting the better of Dalot at some point and actually maybe finding a miracle pass somewhere in his repertoire. But luckily, obviously, I think Eric also thought the same thing, and at halftime was like, yeah, Aaron, you go lock that side down because that's the only place they're troubling us. And after that, they gave us literally nothing. In fact, I actually think we made defensive subs and we got better offensively. It was crazy. That's never happened to us. I remember the dagger at Everton Ollie's last good season, where they scored in the last minute. Ollie made 4 tactical substitutions and we conceded off of a free kick by the halfway line. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, Bruno did everything to shore up this game at halftime. We were 3-0 up. We go inside. We're drawing this game 3-3. And I think City went top of the league the next game. So this time, I just feel so confident in the manager's plan. I fully believe in it. I feel like we're back. And I know I've said this before, and you probably, if anyone follows me on Twitter, I've said this before, but I actually mean it this time, guys. I promise. I think we're back. I think we have the foundations to a good team. I think he's missing a couple key players. But I think once he gets a proper striker, because Martial's not serious, we'll be a serious team again.
Oh, tell me about that guy.
No,
I'm in a good mood. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it. Let's move on. Let's go to Newcastle. And Rich, I wanted to ask you about Newcastle because, I mean, a lot of their fans, and it could be, I mean, I'm not a Newcastle fan, so I can't really understand how they were feeling. They ain't been to a final for 24 years since they played Man United in the final in 99. And they haven't won a trophy in, I think, 56 or so years. I might be. It's 50 something. It's 50 plus years anyway, for sure. And a lot of their fans were I don't think they were concerned. I mean, you want to win, but I don't think they were concerned whether they lost the game or not. I think it's about more the occasion. But if you're Eddie Howe, how do you go? What do you say to the players? What do you say? Do you say, we go again? Look at this as a moment where you build up, or do we say, yeah, they were there for the take? You could have won this game because they did start with energy. They did start well. They did pressure Man United quite a bit. What angle do you think they should come from and take from this final?
It's so difficult because it's in the middle of the season. This can make or break your whole campaign. For your boys, you literally could be able to. Obviously, you're pushing for like top 2 finish. You're not too far off. Run like a title race either as well. If you just look at the points differential for Newcastle, their league form dipped coming up to this final. And now they've lost it. That could actually have an adverse effect on their campaign. Obviously, Tottenham, Liverpool were lucky to survive against us on the weekend, but they're slowly picking up points and stuff. So when Newcastle was sitting pretty at second at one point, they're fourth, and it's like fourth, but just about. You know what I mean? So Eddie Howe's got to somehow rally the troops, man. He's had a fantastic season with them, to be fair. They deserve nothing from the final. I mean, Ayerson had one moment against Dello. He did some mad skill on the hair to make a save and such. But apart from that, it was non-existent. I think, obviously, as a neutral fan, I guess the only interesting aspect of it, how would that game have gone if Nick Pope was in goal? And that's no slander on Karius, because I think Karius did a decent job. But probably their mindset defensively, Newcastle thinking, this Donny ain't played in 2 years. The last time anyone probably saw him play was against Real Madrid for Liverpool, where he flapped that Gareth Bale shot. Maybe we have to drop off 10 yards and stuff. It could happen. It could have had an effect and stuff. But that's Pope's fault. He made a stupid error against Liverpool. But you lot thoroughly deserved the win, even as Rans was saying, it wasn't the greatest of spectacles. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, a trophy is a trophy.
Oh, absolutely, it doesn't matter. And we'll talk about players as well, because I think it's fair to talk about players on both sides. I want to talk about Saint-Maximin. I've obviously I've started the podcast by criticizing him, so I guess you know how I feel about him. But from both of you, we can do Rich first. Is Saint-Maximin a player that you look at for Newcastle and say they can still build around him, or considering he's been there for a couple of years now, and I know the regime was different, the management's been different over years. Looking at this final performance and how he's performed overall in his time at Newcastle, do you see him as a future component of success at the club, or do you think there'll come a time where they say, thanks for the memories, but it's time to go?
One thing that hinders him is injuries, for starters. He's very, very injury prone. But you know what? If Eddie Howe can't, because look at what Eddie Howe did with Joe Linton. Like, he turned a very terrible striker into a decent midfielder.
Facts.
If Eddie Howe can't get the best out of Saint-Maximin, then it's just pack your bags and find somewhere else to go. Like, the talent's there. It's undeniably, he's talented and stuff. But I feel like Newcastle's just changed their style of play, and the way they're playing nowadays is working for them. And I don't think Saint-Maximin, I don't think it works for them. Now, call me mad. If it wasn't for the fact that he's on mad wages and stuff, I'll take him to replace Zaha at Palace, because he's kind of like for like.
Okay.
I just feel his injuries are a bit, and the wages will be too crazy, but I think he'll fit us what he does Newcastle at this current moment in time.
Absolutely. And Bruno G. I will talk about both Brunos, but Bruno G, just how important. I mean, he was unfortunate he got injured in the game. He just came back from an injury, and suspension as well on top of that. But I mean, how good is this boy? Really and truly, like watching him on a week-to-week basis, how important is he to Newcastle, and how good is he just as an individual?
He's a very, very talented player. And it's interesting because where he's so techie, he can also do the defensive bit too, as well. It's weird. You don't normally see a midfielder that's got literally can do everything. I feel, just quickly on this, by the way, the FA need to change their rules regarding red cards, because he got sent off in the semi-final and played. And Pope got sent off in the Premier League game and missed it. It's a bit mad. No, but he's definitely pivotal to how they play. I reckon if they can get a DM that's like 30 and stuff, and then allow him to push further forward, I think that's where he gets his joy, around the edge of the box. I think that would work out better for him. He's a decent player.
Yeah, absolutely. Rans, Man United players. We spoke about the defense and how calm it makes you feel. Varane and Martinez, absolutely brilliant. Casemiro, can't talk enough about him. And Marcus Rashford as well, can't talk enough about him. But one player you did mention was Anthony. I'm not going to ask the question of whether he's a player that will go, because he's obviously still new to the team, still new to the league. He's going to get, hopefully for his sake, get better. But do you see? What's the question I'm going to ask? Do you see him as a important player for United in the next couple of years, or do you see his role eventually becoming like a squad player thing? I'm just asking this because you got Ahmad doing well on loan.
Mm-hmm.
You got Sancho who can play on the right. Pelestri, if he's given the chance, maybe an option. I'm just putting a question out there. What are your thoughts on Anthony and his final performance as well, actually?
So I'll first go on him and in terms of his future at Man United, right? I think that Eric is looking to build a kind of 6-man front line where it's basically like he'll have one slightly different profile type of player. So not Weghorst per se, but like a goal hanger, big guy who can just have the ball hoofed up to him and in a jam. Basically he'll become Fellaini of 2017-18, right? That's what I think. He's going to go for one of those strikers. And then what he wants with the other 5 attackers is fluidity. And Anthony's very, very important to that, because I think you can see the difference. So I was cussing him. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Like I wasn't gassed when he came. Yeah. I didn't know nothing about him. I'm not going to pretend like everyone else on the timeline that I watch Ajax every week. Cause I don't watch Ajax every week. I watch them when they play the big games, the Champions League, and that's it. And 180 minutes is not really enough time to understand what kind of player we're buying. So I thought we were buying an out and out winger that was fast and that was going to beat their man and everything. And obviously when he's come, he's a lot more than that, right? Like he's very composed in high pressure situations. Some of his decision making is a bit awful, but he's very good at ball retention. And actually when I was, so I started looking at like Sabre scores, and he's one of our best ball carriers in terms of, he doesn't really lose possession much. He doesn't go forward as much, as progressive as much, but he doesn't lose possession much. And he doesn't misplace passes. So in a team, like when you got Fred doing chaos ball, you need somebody there on the side to just calm things down. And I think Anthony does that. And I think that's why Ten Hag likes him, because he's like under pressure. And make the right decisions. So I think that he's going to be very pivotal in Ten Hag's master plan to have us winning 3 back-to-back again, just like we used to in the Fergie days. In the final, I actually thought he was one of the better players. I think I'd give him probably a 6.57. I think everyone that they all look really tired. They looked like they've been through it, and they've done a lot of running, and you can see, especially like Bruno's got an engine, but he looked knackered. So they all looked tired, but I actually thought he was good. And when he was taking the mick, he took the mick out of Dan Burns. He said, yeah, I'm going to have you once. And you know what? I'm going to spin around and come back again and have you again. I just said, you got no respect. You got no respect whatsoever. So I was actually really happy with his performance. I was happy with him in Barcelona on Thursday. And I am happy to give him a bit more time to get used to the English game. And I think when he has a right back, or he develops a relationship with the right back, it's going to be even better for him, because you can see like he's probably got more of a connection with Dalot. But Dalot also wants to applaud it. So he's also trying to get in the box. He's trying to get the assists. Whereas with Wan-Bissaka, I think he actually works better with Wan-Bissaka because he does less defensive work, but they don't know each other. So they keep making runs and passing the ball opposite ways instead of like to the direction of where the player's running. But yeah, I think he's going to be part of our plans for sure.
Awesome. And last one, you mentioned the name as well, which I was going to ask you about. Fred's contract runs out this summer. Has he earned a new contract?
Okay, so in the days of McFred.
Oh no. Okay, no. Okay, there's a rule here, because we give nicknames to players or like combinations of players that we adore. I'm very sure you do not adore that thing. So we're not gonna give them that tag. We're gonna call them McTominay and Fred. That's just
Okay. Okay, fair enough. You got me. Right. Okay. So in the days of McTominay and Fred, I always said that Fred's biggest problem is McTominay, right? Because McTominay would go hiding, and then Fred is constantly having to make a decision about, do I come or do I stay, right? And you see that when he plays with Casemiro, he almost like doesn't even need to look. He knows where Casemiro is. So he's like, all right, cool. I'm going for this because I know Casemiro is behind me and I'm good. So personally, do I think that he's good enough to play week in, week out every single week as a part of our midfield three? No. I think there's definitely a certain man in Barcelona who needs to just stop ignoring Eric's calls and answer the phone, because that is who we need. But in terms of a squad, you can't have Frankie de Jong playing away at Carlisle in the Carabao Cup next year. Yeah, you're gonna have to have Fred. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have Fred. You gotta have people like Fred in the team to go and fill the gaps. And also in times like this where there's loads of fixture congestion, Fred is really good at coming on and doing a job. He's shown that before. He's obviously capable of head loss. Like PSG last season, it literally spun my head when he got a red card, because I was like, why on earth you've got head loss? Like, how do you lose your head like that in such a big game for us where we're down? But he equally has moments like Barcelona. He has the Leeds performance in him once a year, where he just unlocks a little bit of shooting. So I personally think that the club should renew and give him maybe two years with an option to extend for the third year, and then see if we can ship him out to get a better, younger option. Or by that time, maybe some of the youngsters will be breaded in fully. So people like Maino, Hannibal, Iqbal, one of the three of them. I don't think all three of them are going to make it at Man United, but I definitely think one of them will. So whichever one it is will be in. So then we can get rid of Fred after that. But I think he's definitely past the Fred. He was obviously been fasting and praying because we've not lost a game in February, and I appreciate it. I love it. He even won us some games. I've got no problems with Fred. He can stay. He can have another 2 years and continue to show everybody that chaos ball is the way.
No worries. Rich, and finally, just on I want to ask you about Wout Weghorst. I don't want to spend too much time on this after, because I think it's 20 minutes on Man United and Newcastle. So we'll go and go to the other games. But Wout Weghorst, do you look at that signing? I mean, it's a loan signing, so it can't really be a bad fail if it didn't work out. But do you think it's working out for United so far, considering his role?
Before I talk about Weghorst, Fred, just own it. Yeah, just own it. Just have to own it.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Just own it. It's okay. It's part of your past. Your future's looking bright. Just it is what it is.
Okay,
but Weghorst, you know what? Before you what's weird with Weghorst? I've got like as a neutral, like I look at both sides. I'm thinking, you're striking, you need to be scoring goals. But then what he does actually offer you is actually pretty decent and such. I'm going to be shamelessly admit this, and you can sin bin me, you can cast me out. I compared him to Mateta. Like, in a sense of just like, okay, well, the hold up play once in a while is a bit decent and stuff like that, but you can't hit the back of you can't find the back of the net, sort of thing. His assist for Rashford was brilliant, by the way. Brilliant way to pass. I actually thought Rashford took one touch too many, but obviously it went in the back of the net. It is what it is, and stuff. Obviously, Ten Hag, he's adopted him in the 10 more so now, hasn't he? As opposed to the 9, which I don't know if that's a good thing for him or not, but it's worked out for the team. And I don't see you extending the loan beyond the season. But as Ran said earlier, Martial is a sick note, unfortunately, and you really don't have any other options. So, yeah, he's done a decent job.
Absolutely. All right, well, we'll move on from Man United. If the Newcastle fan, Ugo, hope you're listening, man. I've got love for you, man, but next time, turn up.
Ugo, stop running from the grind, bro. What's that? Stop running from the grind, man. What is?
Yeah, he can't run from the grind, man. But shout out to him as well. He's doing really well. His channel's doing well. I've put his link in the bio, so anyone that wants to check him out, Voice of the Tune is his channel as well. He's doing a great job, so shout out to Ugo. We'll move on. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to go straight to Crystal Palace. They drew 0-0 at home with Liverpool. Now, I want to just read out some results here from this year. I know Rich already know, but for the listeners and for Rans. Since the turn of the year, into 2023, the results are as followed. Crystal Palace 0, Tottenham 4. FA Cup, Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 2.
Don't remind me about that one. Gaeta gifted them 2 goals. But anyway, please.
Yeah, he did. Chelsea 1, Palace 0. Palace 1, Man United 1. Superb free kick for anyone that remembers by Elise. It's Elise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crystal Palace 0, Newcastle 0. Then Palace visited Old Trafford and lost 2-1 to Manchester United. Palace 1, Brighton 1, Brentford 1, Palace 1.
Should have won that.
Palace 0, Liverpool 0, and I
should have won that. Have you seen that the fixtures? You see what we've got afterwards? Villa, Man City, Brighton, Arsenal.
Well, I was gonna mention that, and then you even got Leicester coming to you guys after. And then I guess the teams that are better for relegation, like your Leeds and your Southamptons and your Evertons, and Wolves to an extent maybe, and West Ham after that as well. You've got, every team's fighting for something in the league, but just on your results, why is it that your team are struggling to find a win? What is it? Is it Vieira? Is it what's going on?
We got Jean-Philippe Mateta. That's the reason why. He's terrible. He's terrible. Listen, first thing first, I have no idea why Edouard's not playing. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. He must not be training well, or he must have had a bust up with Vieira. I do not know. I don't know why Mateta starts. Every time we see him on the team sheet, the atmosphere around Selhurst Park, it just goes flat and such. And you probably saw it against Liverpool. He was gifted 2 shot opportunities. The first one, you're up against Alisson, a world-class keeper, and you think you're R9 to be able to scoop the ball over him. You've scored 1 goal all season, and you're trying to scoop the ball over Alisson. Okay,
Rich,
cool. I'll let you off.
You know what, just for banter purposes, I saw that chance, and it gave me shocking flashbacks. To remember when Man United played Bayern Munich in the Champions League, and Welbeck tried to chip Neuer.
It was like that, but you know what? At least Welbeck's one was going on target.
Fair point.
Mateta's one was still going wide.
Yeah.
Now, are you okay? Then he gets a second opportunity. Schlupp does well to press Trent and passes the ball across the box. And when I first saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, he's hit the crossbar, unlucky. Because I'm on the other side of the pitch where I say, I went to the concourse, I saw it. I was like, the guy missed an open goal. He missed an open goal. I was like, you know what? And this is the problem. We just can't finish our dinner. You know, we've been playing well. Like, you read out the teams we've played. All of those teams are in the top 10 and stuff. I think they might all be in the top 6, in fact. You know, and we've lost 1 in the last 6, and that was against you lot. 1 loss and 5 draws. You know, so actually, the results-wise, it doesn't seem too bad. The problem is the teams beneath us are picking up wins. We need to get some wins on our belt.
I mean, it does look bad because, in my opinion, you're not losing games, but 5 points out of your last 18 is not a good look. Go on, Rance.
When's the last time you guys scored 2 or more in a game?
Bournemouth away.
How long ago was that? Last year?
Just before Christmas, wasn't it?
Jesus.
So that's the problem, isn't it? It's like
it's just goal scoring,
yeah. You can't score, and
it's not like we don't get the chances. So yeah.
Because we United were going for a similar thing, and it's like it's so annoying when your club is creating chances and you're making the things happen, but the people on the end, in this case it's Mateta, not finishing their dinner. It's like, what else are we gonna have to do here? And what normally is required is, I don't know, moments of brilliance from people like Zaha. And it's like, how many moments of brilliance does Zaha need to give you guys for you? Not you guys, but I mean, like, it can't always be the big guys to come and pick up the points in it. So you're gonna have to get a new striker.
We do, and like Zaha's missed the last 4 or 5 games anyway because he's been injured. I think he got injured against Newcastle, so I hope he's back this weekend, just to give us a bit of a lift. You know,
I was gonna say, funny enough, when you scored 2 goals, Mateta was nowhere to be seen.
We even started Jordan Ayew up top that game, and he scored.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that one for me is a shocker because
Jordan Ayew.
Yeah, anyone that's Ghanaian knows, boy, him and shooting.
I don't know PTSD. He cost us at the World Cup. I'm not happy. He came on against Portugal to do nonsense.
Yeah, man, that was a painful time. So okay, we'll talk about Liverpool now. Rans,
they were terrible.
Obviously,
they were terrible. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
No, you're right. But I was gonna ask Rans because I mean they obviously are their old rivals, and you know there's obviously a lot of respect for Liverpool. Am I correct or?
That's what you call it. Respect. I hate them.
She hates them. Yeah. She's very chesty with it. She hates them.
But
the question I'm going to ask you is because I asked the Liverpool fans a lot, so I'm going to try and ask someone out of their fan base completely. What the hell is going on there?
I think this is always going to happen, right? And I think anybody who has watched football for long enough knows that you cannot run the way that 11 ran for the last 4 years without it coming to this point where at 27 or 28, Fabinho looks like he's finished like soap. He's never played professional football in his life. He's dead. He's like people were saying he was the best centre mid and DM that the Premier League has ever seen at some point. And now they're talking about it. They're calling him a Nigerian uncle. They say he's got fake age. That's what they're calling him. That's what their fans are calling him. Not me. But that's what they're saying. So I just think
I'm in shock.
They're calling him. They said his name is Olawatunde and he was born in the 80s, bro. That's what they said. They said it was fake age. He got smuggled into Brazil and they gave him new birth certificate and called him Fabio Silva. That's what they said.
Going on?
Not me.
Listen, can we officially brand Fabinho's new name is Fola?
Yeah, I'm down.
Fola.
I think this is the outcome of playing the same 11 and not ever looking to the future, right? Like there's only so many times you give Milner a contract, you give Henderson a contract, you keep telling everybody leadership and power and passion is so important. Eventually the ballers are going to get tired and the guys who were doing the legwork for the ballers are also tired. So now everyone's tired and Klopp just basically needs to bin the whole thing and start again because he thought, I don't know, maybe in his head he thought because Liverpool's a special club, right? That hunger, it's not empty like City. So I think when he was looking at it, he was like, well, we're a real club, right? We've got heritage, we've got things. So our players are always going to be hungry because we got real people out there depending on us. And didn't do what Pep has been doing, which is slowly but surely getting rid of the people who he feels, okay, they might still be good players, but they don't have that hunger to succeed anymore because they've done it all. And he thought that wasn't going to happen with his guys, but it has. And I think they've been found out, right? Like it's easy to beat Liverpool, Klopp, not Liverpool. Liverpool as a team when they're playing, I think that they're like, when they're on fire, they're the best, up there with the top best 5 clubs in the world. I'll never deny it. Like they play really good football when they're on it. But actually, they're quite easy to figure out. And I think Aston Villa showed us last season how to do it. And then 2 seasons ago. And then ever since then, they don't seem as imperious as they used to be. They're losing to the bottom, like the lower sides. And actually, sorry, Rich, I'm going to say this. It really upsets me that they saved their 1 or 2 good performances a year for you guys. I don't understand that. What's the beef with Crystal Palace? Is it Suarez gate all over again? Like, why do they come with so much vim when they come to your place?
We know where the beef is. We know where the beef is.
They hate us. It's all good, but like we've picked up 2 points from them this season, so it's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good. I mean, on the back of what you're saying regarding the running, I think obviously, listen, there's been a lot of cuts in society and stuff. The NHS is being run like a muck, and they've run out of asthma pumps.
the pets have gone. It's gone.
It's gone.
Was it 6-month wait for an inhaler? I think it is.
Yeah, it's
it sounds like that. That's actually factual, which is insane, by the way. Shout out the UK on that one. They're doing a great job over here. Great job over here. Can't wait till it's just private. Then it's gonna get even better, right? Anyway, it's not a political show. It's not a political show. I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself. But it's an odd one for me with Liverpool because I did think that their players were getting older and they did need to make a change, but I didn't see a collapse like this. And coming away from the Palace game, I mean, Salah also hit the woodwork, so they can argue that they had a chance where they could have won the game as well. Absolutely. But even someone like him, he's not looking the same. And I don't know if it's because he's missing Mane and Firmino. Obviously, that was their thing. Go on. Yeah, Rance, go for it.
No, I was going to say, Mane made the world go round. I remember when they were trying to pick between who they wanted sold, right? And all the Liverpool fans said Mane. And I said, that is the wrong choice, because the truth of the matter is, and people think I don't hate Salah, right? Yeah, but I think that Salah is there's a certain kind of big game player, right? And Salah is the kind of big game player that needs all 10 people around him to be playing well, and then he will play well. He is not ever going to pull you out of a moment. He's not going to just pull something out of his ass. When Liverpool are playing rubbish, he's not going to bail you out by himself. He will be on the end of a chance of something amazing by Trent or Robertson or whoever it is that decides to take the ball by the horn, but he himself is not okay. Whereas Mane was capable of pulling those things out of his locker. He could go on a run and bag it top bins to beat a couple people. And he didn't need to have a good game to have an impact on the game. And I think ultimately that is the biggest problem, is that the unison between the front three has gone, because obviously, well, Firmino is a halftime teeth model, halftime.
Hendo, thank you so much.
hit him right in the head, didn't it? And he went for a goal kick. I was like, yeah, it's poor, yeah.
But even that, the mentions, it's not Salah that they're talking about. They're not saying, oh, I mean, you mentioned that Salah hit the bar, but it's like the moment of brilliance came from Trent, and then obviously their captain got in the way. So it's just like, I just think everybody underestimated what and how important Mane was to that fluid front line. And now he's over there in Bundesliga. I mean, it's a bit of a tough title race over there as well, but he seems to be enjoying life. I mean, I saw he made the FIFA Pro top 20. And Vinicius didn't. Interesting, because they won the Champions League, but we'll let that go. we'll let that go. But
I think we all know what that's about. But anyway, go on, please.
Mane is a huge loss, and they just need to reinvigorate everything. And I think as well, they banked a lot on getting sold. Right? They thought, we're on the market. We're going to get bought. We'll have money. We'll be able to invest big time in the summer. Klopp, you'll have 10 new players if you want it. And now that's not happened. They are double crestfallen, because we've not been sold. We're watching our rivals across the road potentially be bought by the same people that we were going to buy us. And we're watching Mane enjoy his life while we are struggling to find a front three that is cohesive. I just don't think they have that cohesion anymore.
And Liverpool are running their club literally like a mid-table club. Like, they are mirroring what Palace are doing, where you get a bit of momentum and then the ownership says, no, don't go anywhere. We're not giving you no money. I feel for them. Like, they started their game against us with Henderson, Milner, and Keita as the midfield three. Like, Decore and Sambi, they were just bopping it. Like, and that's what I said. Listen, had we had a striker, we could have scored a couple. And obviously, Salah did hit the crossbar, and Trent's free kick got well defended by Henderson. But apart from that, we looked comfortable. Salah, I feel like his legs actually might be going, because he doesn't run in behind as much. He really hugs the touchline. I think Mitchell had him in pocket. And that's not the first time we've been saying that. Trent doesn't seem to bomb forward either. It's a weird one. Like, I think Trent's attitude is an issue, actually. He doesn't look bothered. He really doesn't look bothered. So I don't know if it's the case where he's thinking, listen, I'm the main man here, innit? Like, no one's going to take my place. Because his drop-off, his fall from grace is crazy. And I'm not going to take credit for it, but I saw it coming. You can't be an attacking fullback, and rely on just crossing the ball into the box. At some point, the game's going to evolve, the game's going to change, and your defensive duties will get called out. Now he can't attack anymore. Everyone's now, he's not a good... Well, no, the signs were there. The signs were there. So, anyway, I'm in big trouble.
Sorry, I saw someone mention about the midfield. I'm sorry. You guys bought like 4 midfielders last summer. Your gaffer was standing on Sky Sports telling us how you got 4 midfielders. You don't need a midfielder. You've got Fabio, Vieira, whoever it was that he said was coming through. Sorry, I don't keep up with all their players, but it's like you've invested. You got Thiago, you got Arthur. Okay, they're rubbish, but you bought them. They're yours. You were telling us for the last 5 years, that this is the best midfield that's ever existed.
They bought Arthur, didn't they?
There's Arthur there. There's
I don't know why they did that.
Bro, there's so many people. They have quite a few midfielders. So it's not the lack of midfielders, it's the quality of the way that those midfielders are playing. But those are the players that your club scouting system that you told us was so great, that found Andy Robertson and all these other guys. That's the same system, right? And that's who they identified and that's who they purchased. So we can blame the midfielder. Don't get me wrong, they do need legs in the midfield. Like, I mean, I can't imagine a Henderson and Fabinho pivot lasting very much longer than it did. But nonetheless, you have midfielders. You have 9 of the 11 best players in the world as far as your fans are concerned. So you should be doing better. And if this was any other gaffer, you lot would have been saying that they should have been sacked before the World Cup. But because Klopp gave you 1 Premier League and 1 Champions League, you guys are letting him off. Oli had more points than him when he got sacked. You should be ashamed. They should be ashamed. They should be ashamed.
Ow,
Oli had more points than him.
Ow. Damn. Okay. Damn. Ow. Ow. Yeah. I'd say out to that because Man United fans did not like Ole. So ow. For me personally, before we move on, I'm just gonna say I think Liverpool's recruitment has been a bit iffy in the last couple of years, or last 2 years rather. I won't say the last couple of years because they've bought some good players in that what's his name? Alisson and Van Dijk in the last 5-6 years. But what I will say, I think there was one blind loyalty. I don't know. I think Rans, you mentioned it. Henderson and Milner getting new contracts. No matter what they've done for the club, they are getting older. This time is a time to move them on. Or even if you do want to keep them, they shouldn't be playing such a heavy role in the team, in my opinion. You know, I know Henderson has been slowly phased out. Fabinho, I don't think it's an age thing. I just don't know what's happened to him. I think his form's just gone completely off, and he's just not looking at any level of comfortable on the pitch. I've never really liked Joe Gomez. And look, it's certain individuals, but I'm mentioning these names because I feel like they're letting down the team a lot more. And it is a team effort, but sometimes you got to look at individuals and just say, look, A, B, C, D, they're just not part of the plan anymore, and it is what it is. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what's in their future. Arsenal and Man City continue to win their games as they are jointly first and second. Arsenal won 1-0 away at Leicester. Highly controversial game. Refereeing being the discussion, of course, with VAR cancelling goals. One was definitely offside. One was apparently a grab of the arm of the goalkeeper. Was cancelled. Ben White as a foul. Saka was fouled in the penalty area. They definitely believe it should have been a penalty. I believe you guys are nodding as you probably agree. But Martinelli scored, and you got them the 3 points. Man City just went to Bournemouth and absolutely just did them in 4-1. No problem, no stress there. Rans, who are your favourites out of those two? And I'm not going to ask you if Man United are in the title race because me personally, I'm scared to say that. But I'm just going to say for those two clubs in particular, who are your favourites and why?
So my favourites still have to be City and the only reason is because they have done this before, right? They chased Liverpool up until the last day and beat them by 1 point. So that is the only reason that they have that kind of nod from me only. I did think that Arsenal would have dropped off by now if they were going to. And so I give Arteta, I mean, it took him 4 years, but I give him a lot of credit. He's built a system and it works and he's got everyone playing how he wants to do it. And I think it would be good for football if Arsenal won the league. And I think, because obviously my gaffer's got a free Pete. He can be the only one. We can't just have Pep going out here spending £1 trillion and being the same as us. Like, it's not fair. So my choice, if I had to choose, obviously, is Man United. Of course, that's who I want to win the league. But I do have City as favourites. But I can't deny that Arsenal are in the rhythm and things are working out for them. And actually, given the fact that they didn't win, they lost to Everton, they drew with Brentford, and then I think they lost to City the week after that. They lost to City on the Wednesday. The way that they've managed to bounce back off those 3 results relatively quickly and pick up again, that's a sign of champions. I'm not going to take it away from them. I don't like it. I hate the fact that they're potentially champions, but I do have to give them a lot of credit that they're moving in the right direction. But I still think that if City decide that they actually want to win it, they'll just go and do it. But it's about whether they decide that they actually want to win. I think their eyes are on Champions League, but they're not going to win that. They're not a knockout team. They just will never be. So yeah, City favourites in my heart, Arsenal favourites that I'm just hoping that they can keep it up, or both of them lose all their next 10 games and then we can win the league. That's what I would like. That's what I would like. Let them both lose 10 games, let us win all of our games. Great, perfect. That would suit me fine.
Actually, a dream come true for me as well. Rich, same question to you. Do you see Arsenal maintaining enough form, or rather, the question should be: do you see them being more consistent enough than City to see out the title race?
See, I would have rather you would answer me this after the next Man City Arsenal game, as such. But you know what? I think it's in Arsenal's hands. I think they'll do it.
Okay.
Rans is correct in saying City has the experience, but every team has a blip in the season. Arsenal had their blip. City didn't capitalize. You know, I think City have let Arsenal off the hook here, and with Gabriel Jesus, I think he's back either this week or next as well.
Yep.
When he played, they were cooking. You know, no slander on Nketiah. He did all right. Like, I've not rated him, and he did okay for them. Like, he held it down. He got some very important goals for them. I think City have let them off the hook. But in saying that Man City Arsenal game is massive.
Huge. Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge. And to be fair, Man City even played Newcastle on Saturday as well, which I know Newcastle have not been in the best of form either, but it will be interesting because City are tending to drop points where you wouldn't expect them to, you know, whether that be home or away. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting game. We'll move on.
Wait. You didn't say who you have as your favourites. What's this? You can't just have us out here on the chopping block.
I'm the host. I'm just
trying to sit on the fence, you know.
I'm running from the guys. Come on, who's your favourite?
You know what? Okay, if I'm being very honest, I don't like saying this out loud because I've got these guys all over in my life, my brother, my cousins, my friends. But Arsenal, it's Arsenal, man. Because somehow they're just putting results out of the bag, and I don't know when it's stopping. I just don't know when it's stopping. Usually in last season before that or whatever, a game away at Leicester, I'll be like, yeah, they'll definitely drop points in this one. I went into this game, I was sitting there, I was like, I don't think they're gonna lose. I just don't see it happening. And even if they concede a goal, they just get confident. It's like they're not afraid anymore of getting back into the game. So it's weird to say it because City have been ultra consistent over the last couple of years, but it looks like Arsenal have found a year to be more consistent than them.
Yeah. That win against Villa for me was what told me, you know, I think they've got this. To get that 93rd minute goal, own goal, that little bit of luck you'd need in title races and stuff, it just fell for them.
You know? Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. That's why I'm just like, I might have to just swallow my pride and say it. But what I will say is this, because I know all my cousins and my brother and my Arsenal friends listen to this podcast. Don't call me. Don't try and find me. Celebrate, enjoy yourself, and then when the season starts next season, come and find me. We'll talk again like normal human beings. Until then, don't interact with me. Listen, my cousin, I respect you. I love you for making me your best man. Your wedding is a beautiful wedding. But once this club wins, I don't know you. I don't know who you are. I never saw you before. It is what it is, man. Love you though, innit? Anyway,
just quickly, I've just seen the Manchester's comment. Big up Santiago, he's a Man United fan as well. I'm not gonna lie, that Nketiah song is a vibe, you know.
Oh yeah.
It is a proper vibe.
Nketiah's on the room. You're the fan.
Oh, that one. Okay, yes, I know that one.
It's a vibe, man. It's a vibe. Hopefully they can sing that in third place. But anyway, we move on. Did you guys know that you can slap a player and have your red card taken away? That's what happened as Spurs beat Chelsea 2-0 when Hakim Ziyech went and slapped Emerson Royale in the face because he got barged in the back by Emerson Royale.
Can I give him the benefit of the doubt, though?
Why?
I think he aimed to try and push his shoulder and it kind of like slipped up.
And when
looking at a replay.
Okay, fair enough. But if you've got a red card, because my thing is this, to add to the absolute fantastic referee we have in this country, my thing is this: if you're not sure it's a red card, watch the video first, and then decide if it's a red card.
Checked it?
Bro, you've given a red card. He's taking his tape off, and you go, "Wait, hold on, stay there." You run to the other side of the pitch, the camera, come back and say, "Yeah, man, it's all right, man. You're not getting sent off." Wait, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? I don't get it.
Can I play devil's advocate on that one? Yeah, because
Go for it.
I hear it. Yeah, I do. But I think that, like, obviously, a lot of people's complaints about VAR is the stop and start of the game, and it's not letting referees, not giving them the opportunity to make the decision, and like it's only there as a soundboard, right? And so that's what he did. So he's seen it in real time and said, "That was a slap, red card." VAR have said, "Oh, maybe you want to check it. It might not be as bad as it looked. Go have a look at it." Because think about it, like I've been like when I go to football games, if they don't have a screen, in my head I'm like, that was offside. But then as we're sitting there, I'm like, was it offside? Do I remember? I don't remember. So imagine the referee's got a million decisions to make every 5 seconds. I can imagine that he's done it thinking, okay, that looked violent, that looked rough, it looked like you slapped him in the face. Guy's gone down holding his face. I'm going to send him off. Then they've said, okay, so I actually think it's a good application of VAR for once. And it's like, honestly, it's frustrating, especially for the player. It's frustrating for the player because he's ready to shower now. And now he's got to put the tape back on and all that time has taken. So in fairness, I think that they got that one right. And I think that it's good that they did it the way that they did. But refereeing in general, it's absolutely rubbish. We used to rule the world, We used to rule the world. We used to have the best referees in the world. And I know they liked Man United, so obviously I'm biased, but we still had the best referees in the world. And now I find myself talking more about refereeing than actual games. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, if the refereeing was better, we wouldn't be talking about them. I mean, I know he's obviously resigned now, but Lee Mason had some shocking decisions, not on the pitch, behind the camera.
He forgot to draw lines.
Bro, he forgot to draw lines. But it's just baffling. But anyway, look, the red card was rescinded. Graham Potter must have been counting his lucky stars and said, "Oh, maybe we'll get something out here." And the other skip said, "Not so much." So Rans, Graham Potter. It looks like I can't lie. It looks like he's Teflon, regardless of what happens at Chelsea right now. But is he? I don't know if the question is he the right man for the job, or is he just surviving because they just don't look like they've got a plan of what's next at Chelsea?
I think it's a free hit now. They've decided, didn't it? So they've got him in at a point where they had already not been doing very well at that point. It was not like they were in the top half. They weren't even the top 5. So they've got him in as a free hit. They've seen what Arteta's been able to do. Young manager, who's worked on the principles over time, and they've kind of moved their transfer strategy slightly to fit him. I don't think they fully moved it, but I think they've kind of been like, okay, let's look for young and promising people who you can build up to make these players that we know and love, instead of buying you these established Aubameyangs and whoever else of the world that they've been purchasing. So I think that Graham Potter is just unfortunate that he's not so charismatic, and Chelsea have been very fortunate to either have somebody who comes in that's quite charismatic. So like someone like Mourinho, when he first came, was extremely charismatic. Even what's the guy that went to Tottenham afterwards? Villas-Boas. Yeah. He was quite a character. So they're quite used to like the young managers being quite charismatic. Even Frank Lampard, he's not my favorite manager in the world, right? But he had a little bit of potential aura, is what I would call it. That favorite word of everybody's at the moment, aura. He had some aura. And then you have the established managers like Hiddink and Ancelotti and Avram Grant, like these people who have been there, done that. And I think that Chelsea kind of tried to take a different approach and go, okay, we're looking long term. We're running this as a private equity. So in 6 years' time, we ain't going to have money. So we've got to sign people for 8 years at time, because we're not spending money for time. And we're going to give you that time to build. Now I actually think he's going to stay in the job till the end of the season. And the reason why I say he's going to stay in the job, because it's a free hit, right? It's unlikely they can make top 4 from this position. Best case scenario is Europa, which for them, to be honest, and for most of us who support clubs at the top and have seen the clubs at the top, it's more of a hindrance than it does good for you in that season, especially when you've won the Champions League 2 years ago. So I think they'll just let him run it out, and then over the summer, maybe go back to the drawing board and figure out who's available and who can we get. In that time, they'll tell Potter, you have between now and June to fix it. If you fix it and you show us that this can go in the right direction, we'll keep with you. But otherwise, my friend, June 1st, you're unemployed. Go and join the queue.
Fair enough. But Rich,
That's what
I'll pick back off that point. Does Chelsea under this regime, not under Abramovich, under this regime, does Chelsea look like a club that has a plan? I'm just in terms of the ownership, or because it looks like they're spending money the way you spend money on what was that game called? LMA Manager, where there was a cheat code where you do you get money and you get like 100 billion or a billion to spend. I think it was.
You're taking it.
And you can just spend reckless. I don't know what's going on. I just don't understand it. Do you see a plan when you're signing players? What do you think is going on there?
Listen, I remixed a catchy song for you. Oh, Chelsea are in trouble because Potter's in the room. But what do you call it? Ted, listen, I feel for him because when he got the job, initially I said, that is a good move. That's a good move for him, a good move for Chelsea long run. Then Bowley ball kicked in, and he just thought, I'm signing everyone. So Potter's actually now like, right, I can't come in and bring in my own players and work with the type of players that I want to work with. Bowley's like, listen, here's 600 million worth of players, make it work. And it's never going to work. If you're going to build, you have to build gradually. Like Nottingham Forest, for example, they spent like 200 million. I don't even think they found the starting 11 yet. They keep changing their team and stuff, and it's a massive issue. Paul's in trouble. He's in big trouble. I think if he gets knocked out again in the Champions League against Dortmund, I think he'll pull the plug.
Okay.
I think he'll be gone early. Yeah, because it's not even like the league form's decent enough to say, you know what, fair enough, the league's going okay, Champions League, people not knocked out, whatever. Both competitions are dreadful.
Yeah.
And they're not even playing well. And that's what makes matters worse, Brush, you're right, bro. Like, it's mad.
Wait, what happened to the Havertz generational shouts, guys? What happened? Is he not generational anymore? Is he not?
Okay.
Second coming of Miroslav Klose or whatever they were trying to tell, man. I don't know.
So, I mean, I never called him generational, but I'm guilty of being a fan of his. And the reason I say I'm a fan of him, still, I don't know why I am still, if I'm being brutally honest with you, but
is it because you got Wiggles?
I mean, after Weghorst, you can only get better, right? So, if I'm being honest, I feel like he's not being used at Chelsea properly. And then when they finally got the formula and he was getting goals and he scored that goal in the Champions League final, they brought in Lukaku and messed it all up. Just completely fumbled it all up, especially for.
Snap. They still have Lukaku in their books.
They still have Lukaku on their books. Yeah.
And this one, bro, they still have Baba Rahman on their books. We're talking about 2014 signings, man. You know what I mean? I'm sure I can go on the website right now and still find Gel Kakuta. Like the club is an absolute joke. It's a mess. And I feel like someone like Havertz, and I'll bring up the point of them having a striker. If you got a formula that's working for your manager in terms of Tuchel at the time, you don't need to go and spend the big money on a forward if that style works, and then expect him to somehow have Lukaku and Havertz in the same system. And Lukaku, I'm even going to get onto that one. Forget about that one. That's another long day. Boy, he's very, very caca. But you know what? No. I can't even give him that because we had a caca and he was phenomenal. So I can't even give him that name. He's just, he's just poo. He's just poo. That's what he is. And I feel like they have something going. But now with all the money you spent, you brought in João Felix. He's not a pure number 9. You've brought in Badiashile, Koulibaly, Fofana. So you brought in 3 centre backs. You brought in Enzo Fernandez. And the guy that's not really a great footballer, but is absolutely handsome, which is a nice thing. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I don't know what he's there for. And Conor Gallagher. Jesus Lord have mercy.
He fooled me.
Huh?
He got me. No, he actually fooled me. Like at Crystal Palace, and when he came back to Chelsea, I said, "Wow, Conor, you really fooled me. You hoodwinked me. I'll never be got again.
Respect my club. We make players better, and then they go and die because they want to go and earn big money, thinking they're going to play Champions League football. You silly boy. Where we wanted you in the summer, anyway."
He should have stayed at Palace. He should have said, "I won that move." Because I mean, obviously they sold him a dream, and they said, "Yep, And he's getting minutes. To be fair to him, he's playing. It's not like he's not playing. He is playing, but boy, does he not look good. He does not look good at all. I just don't know what's next for Chelsea personally. But Havertz, in my opinion, the best thing to happen to him is for him to leave this summer. I don't know where he'd go to, but I feel like he needs to think smartly about who wants him, because he will be wanted. And wherever he goes, he needs to find a manager that plays a system that will work for him, because the guy is very, very talented. And Chelsea didn't buy him at the time.
He'll end up in Serie A.
Izzy will work for him. I think Izzy will work for him. I think that'll work for him. He was obviously wanted big time for big money because he was producing the goods at Leverkusen. He's a good player. So we need to find out what's going on. Well, for my sake anyway, not for his sake. For my own personal sake, I hope he's still got it in him and he goes somewhere and shines. Because if he doesn't, listen, I'm done. I'm finished. You know what I'm saying?
God,
so
you just have to take it out.
Just take it out. One of my boys said that he's giving me until the summer of 2025 for this guy to improve before he drops all the clips of me bigging him up.
So you threw the bag at Havertz,
bro. I wouldn't Havertz at United before he went Chelsea.
The summer of 2025. That's 7 years.
Yeah. He's listen, and he's someone that will do it. He's very, very particular.
He's 7 years.
Yeah. He's particular with his threats to his mandem. When he gets to his mandem, he's like, yeah, man, I've listened to what you said. So, okay, let's see what's going on. Havertz won Champions League. I went to the group chat, I was talking that big talk. He said he better continue next season. And he didn't continue. So now he says he's giving me another 2 years for the guy to improve. And if he doesn't improve, my time on the timeline, hey, it's not going to be fun for me. So, hey, let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. But Chelsea lose, Spurs win. We can talk about Spurs very quickly. Rich, Tottenham are a very weird club, but they are in the top 4.
They are very weird.
They're a very weird club, but they are in the top 4. Do you think they're going to make it?
No.
No, still no. Rans is second ahead as well. No, not for you as well.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there's that, bro. They need to be scared of clubs. I think they need to be scared of Fulham. They need to be scared of Newcastle. They need to take Newcastle actually seriously. Like, I know they've had a dip. They need to be scared of Brighton. Brighton are moving their way up. Like, there's clubs that are playing good football, scoring lots of goals, and are hitting the bigger teams in transition and stuff like that. And obviously, that's how you win. When you're a smaller club, you go and you play on the break. But
I'm going to say this now, yeah, they'll finish below Liverpool.
I think they might as well.
Oh my!
And I'm not saying Liverpool are going to get top. I'm not saying that they're getting top 4 on Liverpool, but Spurs will finish below Liverpool.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm interested to know why. I'm interested to know why, because the Liverpool are looking bad.
It's the history of the Tottenham.
It's the Spurs. They're Spursy, innit? They're Spursy. I think as well, like, the thing is, I think that World Cup, right, it made things so clear for me, is that, like, the truth is, those big players that Tottenham have are not big players, right? When you need them to step up, when you need them to continue to do the things that they've been doing week over week, month over month, in those important moments, they're going to fluff their lines. And that is going to be the difference. For me, that's going to be the difference. Harry Kane doesn't have the bottle. He's not with it. Son doesn't have the bottle. He's not with it. Richarlison doesn't have the bottle. He's not with it. They don't.
He still hasn't scored, has he?
Nope, still hasn't scored. 60 million. You know, if he was Man United, we would be seeing this every week. Every week, we'll be reminding ourselves.
Mateta has 1 league goal. Oh, I need to run an agenda.
Exactly. Please start cooking. We will join you. So, yeah, like, I just think that they just don't have it. They just don't have it. The time that they had it, they lost it to Leicester, and that was it. All of those guys, if you look at it, everybody else left. The people serious who wanted to go win stuff and say, you know what, I can't waste my whole life being second or nearly third or nearly fourth and being patted on the back. They've said, I'm going to play football and I'm going to win. Christian Eriksen died and came back to life and won a trophy before Harry Kane.
I saw that today.
That's insane. Modric said, I'm out. I'm leaving Spurs. He's got 5 Champions Leagues and a Ballon d'Or. The serious people know you're not winning anything at Spurs. So let me go.
Rand, let's put that Christian Eriksen one in context, because not only did he die, meet Jesus and make God say, hey, how you doing? He came back and signed for 2 clubs.
Went to Inter Milan.
Including Brentford.
He paid for Brentford, didn't he? Yes.
And still
won a trophy before Harry Kane. And that's it. And they'll talk about Harry Kane like he's the greatest striker that England has ever produced, and he might be, but for what? What is the point? You are equal. Actually, you're less than what's that gunman from Sunderland, Kevin?
Oh, Kevin Phillips. Kevin Phillips. Yeah.
Kevin Phillips. You have less trophies than Kevin Phillips. Okay, you can say Kevin Phillips won promotions, but that's a trophy. You don't have any. You don't have nothing.
Like, he's proper bragging about this Shearer record, which is a great achievement. But at least Shearer won a Premier League title.
Yeah.
Harry Kane needs to get out this summer. I know it. The all time he's 60 goals away, isn't he? I know that's an achievement. Leave Tottenham and win a trophy, even if it means go to Turkey.
Yeah,
just go and win a trophy.
Just go somewhere.
It makes no sense to stay at Spurs just to say I'm the all-time Premier League goal scorer. Okay. With what trophy? With what medal?
Personally,
anyway.
I think he'd
do
great. I think he'd do great at Man United, but that's just me.
Oh my God.
That's just me.
No. And I'll tell you why. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because there have been people who have come to that club and they tell you that. I don't know if you guys saw the Diary of a CEO with Jesse Lingard, where he talks about it and he says that like the biggest players come and they just look ordinary. And I feel like Harry Kane doesn't have it up here. He doesn't have it up here because if he had it up here, he'd be at Real Madrid right now celebrating his 4th Ballon d'Or. That's what he'd be doing.
I hear it.
That's what he'd be doing. If he had it up here, he's 30. He's literally 30 this year. He's not a small boy. And to go and sign a 6-year contract with no release clause, you are insane. You are absolutely insane. Even me, if my 12-year-old son said, Mommy, I've got a 6-year contract, no release clause, I'll say, hey, what do they think this is? They better put a release clause in there because if you're too good for them, we need to get you out of there. And it's like, that just shows where he is. That's his level. He's never going above that. He may be one of the greatest strikers in the world. He may be, but he's not built for the big time.
You know what finished me is when he came out on big TV and said, I had a gentleman's agreement with Daniel Levy. The devil himself.
Honestly. And that's why that's why I don't want him. I don't want him at Man United. He's too old as well anyway. I don't want him.
Fair enough. I mean, my opinion is different, but I hear it. I'm not. You're making fair points that I can't really argue. The age thing is definitely a factor. The mentality thing, because I would like to think that he really wants to win. I feel like he does, but he doesn't have the idea that he should do it away from Tottenham, which baffles me. But thirdly, this is actually the reason why when you're a big time player, you don't let family do your business for you. Don't let that happen. In my personal opinion, that's just how I feel. My nephew's really good at football, and it looks like he's been scouted by a lot of clubs, so it looks like he's gonna go somewhere. And if he makes it, Lord willing, to the big time, and he asks me to be his agent, I'm going to tell him, no, go and get a proper agent, because it ain't going to be me. Because all I'm going to do is make sure that you play for Man United, even if they're not the best team in the world. So, hey, just for your benefit, I don't think that's a good idea. But we'll run through the rest of the games quickly. I'm conscious of time. Everton 0, Aston Villa 2. So Aston Villa get their customary win before they lose the next 3. Leeds
hopefully
1.
we got them next.
Oh, well, so there you go. Your win's coming. Leeds 1, Southampton 0. Southampton blame Nathan Jones. Believe me, not a good coach, but you're not a good team either. You're going down. West Ham are back to blowing bubbles as they beat Nottingham Forest 4-0. Was not a happy return for Jesse Lingard, but hey, man, the guy can dance, so who cares? And I believe on Friday, there was a game on Friday, wasn't there? Was there a game on Friday? No, there wasn't, was there?
Yeah. Fulham versus Wolves.
That's it. Sorry, yeah, Fulham versus Wolves. And that was a 1-1 game. Good game, to be fair. Two good sides. Before I'll let you guys go. Other than Southampton, I'm just gonna say that for everybody right now that's listening and for you guys, they're going down. So 2 more clubs to join Southampton in the drop. Who are your favorites for the drop zone? Rich?
Bournemouth.
Okay.
And I'm torn between Everton and Leeds. I don't know which one.
Do you think Sean Dyche can pull it out of the bag to keep them up? Everton.
I think they, but then he took Burnley down. But I'm going to say Leeds.
Okay,
Say
Leeds.
Southampton, Bournemouth, Leeds.
Southampton, Bournemouth, Leeds to go down. Okay. Funny enough, the gap between 19th and 12th, which is where Palace are, is 6 points.
Yeah.
So it is tight. It is very tight. So it is an interesting relegation battle. Rans, for you as well?
Yeah, I think Southampton are definitely going down. I actually think Nottingham Forest will go down as well. And I think that it might be Everton for the first time in their Premier League career. They might be done. That's what I think. But we'll see.
All right. So Sean Dyche looks like superhero. You're not Sam Allardyce. You're just Sean Dyche, really. But we'll see what happens there.
He's
go on.
No, I was gonna say he's a fake Sam Allardyce. Bold and hard, but no bottle. That's what I think.
Bold and hard, but no bottle. You know what? I think that's a nice way to finish it, actually. A lot of big games next week. There are some midweek fixtures, so I'll just read out for the people listening as well. Arsenal play Everton, Liverpool play Wolves. There's FA Cup business as well. Burnley and Fleetwood are still playing. Cool. Say less. And then next Saturday, just pick out the big game: Man City versus Newcastle. Rich's Crystal Palace go to Aston Villa, so they go to Villa Park, and obviously Rans the big game at Anfield next week. It is Liverpool versus Manchester United. So before you go, score predictions, Rich, for Palace at Villa. What are you saying?
I mean, if we could get our shooting boots on, 2-1 Palace.
2-1 Palace. Will Mateta score in this game?
No, can he be on the bench?
Okay, there you go. All right, so no Mateta goals. So don't put him part of your FPL team. And if someone has, yeah, man, FPL's not for you.
If you put him in, expect minus.
Yeah, exactly that. Rans, Anfield, always a dodgy fixture. But what are you saying for that game?
I'm gonna say 3-1 United. Yeah, but I'd like a 5-piece. So Marcus Rashford, if you're listening, please, hat trick. Please, I need a 5-piece at Anfield. I need them to shut up all the way, just to go away and leave me alone. But yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1 United. I think Liverpool will turn up, but we'll still have too much on the break for them. So yeah.
So 3-1 Man United and 2-1 Palace. Either way, it's gonna be another entertaining weekend next week.
Still sitting on the fence. What's your score prediction?
For me? Oh, Man United. I'm just trying to host and go away, and these guys are saying, "Nah, man, you're not doing that. You're not doing that today." I predict a 2-0 win for Man United at Anfield. And yeah, I don't think we'll concede. And for Palace, I think you win that game 3-1, rather. And trust me when I say this, I cannot wait to see the Tyrone Mings own goal. Just a personal agenda of mine. That's all. Just a personal agenda of mine. That's all. Because I feel like people think he's good because he's tall and big and has a mean mug, but really and truly, he's no better than Pascal Sigan. But anyway, that's it from the 3inMidfield podcast. Before these guys go, their links are in the bio, but of course, we always allow themselves to plug anything they're doing, any channels they're part of. So we'll do ladies first, of course. Rans, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Plug whatever you want to plug.
I don't have anything to plug, but everybody follow me on Twitter at Miss Riri. In case we do the quadruple, you're gonna want to see, because history will be made that day, and I will be there cooking. So yeah, at Miss Riri on Twitter, follow me, and I'll see you guys again soon, hopefully.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining us. And Rich, of course, please plug yourself, bro.
I appreciate it. The call up to that. It's been a minute. Yeah, find me on Eagle Eye Football on YouTube. That's the predominantly Crystal Palace content. But we do have a calling show on Sunday for any fan to come in and have their say as well. The Twitter is there. I've been practicing the point because I normally get this wrong. But that's the Twitter out there. Nice to obviously meet you, Rans. Kojo, keep up the hard work. And yeah, appreciate you all.
Awesome, thank you. And for myself, of course, Kojo, my personal one is Kojo 3inMidfield, so you can follow me on my personal. But 3inMidfield podcast, all over your audios, that's your SoundClouds and all that, socials. Twitter, and even TikTok, which I need to be more active of because I'm starting to learn how to use TikTok. It's quite fun. It's a good tool. So gonna have fun posting some football stuff and some stuff that just don't concern football. You might see me just eating jollof on there, and just you have to find that is what it is. And YouTube as well, 3inMidfield podcast as well for everything. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a lovely week, and for any Man United fans, I hope you have a beautiful week.
Amen. Thank you. I receive it.
Amen.
I receive it. Bye.